Marina?
No, I just want to say, I always hear this thing that, I don't believe in complete freedom of speech. Okay, who has complete freedom of speech here? The ones who do have complete freedom of speech are people like Utusan. Yes. Right? We don't have complete freedom of speech. We don't get the platforms to say what we want. And that's why the so-called man in the street, who apparently is living in total fear, thinks that we need this act because they only listen to the people who do have complete freedom of speech, which is Utusan. And Utusan, it has the complete freedom to stir up so much fear in everyone, whereas the rest of us is trying to reassure everyone and say no. And the thing is, this whole thing about we got to stop chaos before it happens, right? That's a bit like what George Bush said. What did he say? Preemptive strikes, right? Did it work? Did it work? It's this, I don't know what you call it, trying to think the worst of people. And I don't know why the government spends all its time thinking the worst of people. We're all a bunch of people ready to riot at the slightest thing. I have more faith in our people. And I'll give you an example. When that church was burned a few years ago, we've never seen anything like that. We've never had that sort of thing before. And in this church, someone went through, I don't know what. I went to see it. It was terrible. All burnt and all that. Did we have riots? We had nothing. We had nothing. There was some, people being worried and all that. But for the most part, Malaysians refused to buckle to that fear, refused to be provoked, and went about their business in a normal way. And I always use that example of how proud I am of Malaysians that they refuse to bow down to this type of provocation. So, what fear of chaos is there going to be? It's all manufactured. It's fear of chaos. The fear of chaos is only up there in the government. The rest of us are not there.
The fact is the authorities, the government of the day, they fashion monsters out of shadows. These are all shadows which they have created. And they are fighting these monsters like, it's the figments of the imagination. When they say Malays are divided, this country is more than Malays. Malaysia is as a country of Malaysians. Not just one race, one particular race. We for the longest time, we've lived under this fallacy that we are Malay, Indian, Chinese. And what about our friends and our fellow citizens in Sabah and Sarawak? They don't fall neatly into any of these categories. We've become Malaysians in the last 51 years. And if we keep bringing up this bogeyman of, the Chinese are out to get us, and the Indians are out, the Indians are lawyers, they're already getting us. We can't do that. We can't do that. We got, I think if you say you're Barisan National or the Pakistan or any other Malaysian, you represent Malaysians. You can't, even though you have been a racially segregated party, you can't go on and say, I was out to divide us. You're strong. Why should you be divided by minorities? There's something wrong with that kind of thinking. And so, you're right when they say they're steering this ill feeling, as Marina said, Utusan does it, and they have the impunity to do it freely without ever facing a court of law.